By the way, the listeners can't see it, but she's mouthing dirty words.
Yeah, of course, my phone died, and we're not picking any of this up on video now.
Well, if anyone was watching and they still want to catch the rest of the story, they have to podcast in. But yeah.
Okay, now I'm really excited. I got to figure out a rig.
I wish I had brought the video and you could have seen the video because it got me going 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
Oh.
Yeah, because we actually called the park that we stayed in a few years back, and I know that there's a weekend available for the cabin that we had, and we know that it's only about 11 hours to get down there, and we got all the information together, so I started getting really pumped. But you can only have one gator gar a day per person.
With as novice as we are, I think even if I shot one fish,
we're not going to
weekend.
We're not going to Texas for it.
If I shot one fish in a whole weekend, I'd be super jazzed.
I would love to take you guys to the river where the flying Asian carp are.
Oh no, Chris said they beat the crap out of you. I'm not ready for that.
I've watched
much fun.
I've seen a lot of video of that on like one of the outdoor channels in the past has had the ones with the Asian carp where they're just like coming out of the water like crazy.
If you've watched it, you know exactly what's in store on our rivers. They're exactly the same. I mean, there are parts of the Kansas or the Missouri River that you hit, and it's just the vibrations from your motor. It can be your trolling motor will be enough vibration.
So you're saying if we even go down here to the Riverfront Park or something and drop a boat.
Is that the Missouri?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
You can go right across the bridge, and there's right down here off of 290. Can you off 291?
Now
I know you can.
There are like bigger concentrations of them in certain places.
Yeah, I think you can because I've seen people put boats in off of. There's a spot there where when you cross the river where it goes down and there's like a big parking lot down there, and I've seen people just to put a boat in to fish.
Yeah.
All you need is a tag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just need your fishing license. Your fishing license for whatever state you're fishing in. Yeah, that's all you need. And
Nick, can you walk on the bank and do it,
sure.
or is that very effective?
Sure. The guy that we went down to Texas with, which is one of the most highly decorated bow fishermen in our area, or maybe in the United States. At one time, I know for sure he was the number one in the United States because he went everywhere. He did the whole entire.
This was the one you were telling us about that took you to Texas, yeah.
And he started out bow fishing on the bank and could win every tournament off the bank, which people were in boats and they still couldn't beat him. So he was like, well, I'll follow the group. I'll get me a boat. So he got himself a boat. Well, he got the boat, would take it to the banks he liked, would get out, park his boat, get out on the bank, and he would still shoot. And he was like, well, I didn't know any different. And he was still killing it at the tournaments with just shooting off the bank. So yeah, you can shoot off the bank. I feel like it's more challenging. I like to be up on a platform, even when we're like going out with some buddies and I got to stand in the back of the boat. Is it
like being able to see?
Yeah, you need a pair of polarized sunglasses for sure. And you can get those at Walmart fairly reasonable. I mean, you can get, I think they're like.
I would definitely get cheap because I've put many sunglasses into the lake.
Right.
I was getting ready to say I have my Oakleys are polarized.
Oh,
I better not take those. Yeah.
No, go to Walmart, get some $5 that polarized. Try to not get, just from experience, don't get the ones with like a shine to them, like the mirrored look. Those tend to scratch a lot easier, and they always scratch right where you need to see the fish. So that's just out of experience. I just like the fog or whatever you want to call it,
right?
Just the tinted ones. But you'll need that, and you'll need your state.
Have you ever shot outdoors with any sort of glasses on, sunglasses or?
No.
I see some people do it with the yellow ones that you.
Oh yeah, like those Pella glasses or whatever.
Right.
I never have. No.
I haven't either. I think I have tried in my backyard to shoot with my glasses because I usually wear glasses, during the day, and then I'll put contacts in. But I don't. It just didn't work for me. just too long of shooting without them.
Mm-hmm.
It was too much of a difference, too much of a variable.
Yeah. No, I don't know. To me, that would just be one more thing to distract me from what I need to do. I started off shooting wearing a hat, but I've gotten to the point now where it drives me crazy if I have a hat on. So the least,
see, and I always wear a hat.
I have to distract me.
You
or
do
take
want
my
a
mind
hat
off
for
of what I'm
bow
doing.
fishing. You do want a hat for bow fishing. That's mostly because, and it's also kind of hard to shoot on cloudy days. A lot of people fish at night because they have their halogens. I'm not a super duper fan of shooting at night just because of the bugs, and I don't get scared of spiders or anything like that, and bugs don't bother me. It's just the amount.
You just don't want it up your nose and in your mouth.
It is literally static TV.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
We have done crappie fishing at night
With lights.
with lights on a boat out in the middle of the lake. And, yeah, the amount of bugs, it's just
we
massive.
have 8 halogens.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole Lake of the Ozarks, every single bug, I think, converges on our 8 lights. And it's so thick, it's miserable.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't know if I've told this story on the Bow Divas, but there was a time we were fishing at night. One went up my nose. I was going to farmer blow him out. Took a big breath in. Got like 6 down my throat. So I'm trying to farmer blow, cough. They were going up my shorts, all over my arms, all over my body. I was freaking out, stomping, snorting, trying to cough. I look over and there is like a pontoon full of college-age men trying to figure out what the heck we're doing. And here I'm like, I'm trying to get this bug out of my throat, out of my nose. So yeah, night fishing to me, it's cool because you can really spot the fish and they glow and the lights sort of attract them. It's not like a big attractant, but they stand out a little bit more. And I understand that there are those people that are just night fisherwomen. I like during the day. I like sun. I like warmth. I like the challenge a little bit. But yeah, wear a hat. That's mostly for the glare off the sweat from your cheeks. Because it'll go right under and it'll shine right on your lenses, and then that'll just be another thing that you can't see a
we
fish.
can get the face black like the baseball players. And
you
football
can.
Players wear.
You sure can.
All right, there you go.
Well, I'd just say wear a hat. So those are just a few things that you would need, and if we have a trip planned, then we can video it, or if you just want to come back and do a podcast. We want to do the little traveling podcast.
We could do the wine and bow fishing.
Oh no, let's not.
Okay, maybe that's a bad idea.
It might be a bad idea.
Oh, you're worried about dropping your bow.
Oh, that's true. That's probably not a good combination.
We'll be
Well,
like,
but-
oh my God, where's Barb? She's just gone.
She's in the water.
She's in the water.
We go back and
All I
find
see is a cup sticking out of the water.
cup in her bow. Yeah. So yeah, if we have that planned, I think you guys would really, really, truly enjoy it. And I don't think it would be anything that you wouldn't want to get head over heels in. Seriously, everyone that we've ever taken out or done anything with, I mean, Keith's cousin, I remember the first time we took him out, he got addicted, him and his buddy. They both immediately went out and bought bows. He bought a brand new bow. He actually runs tournaments now.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like, it becomes, like, embedded in your soul. Like, you have to do it. And
I mean,
another form of bow addiction. Oh, goody.
it's a
Right.
and really,
exactly.
in all honesty, you're not spending too much to do it. I mean, and you're out, you're enjoying yourself. Can you have a glass of wine on the lake? Sure, why not? I mean, every time we shot a gator gar, we drank a whole bottle of Boone's Farm. Well, I mean, that was just, I know, right? I like the blue coconut, by the way. I never even knew
That just says flashback to high school for
Right,
me.
I know,
The
I know.
Boone's Farm.
One Boone's Farm was probably the same equivalent of alcohol as a wine cooler.
Right.
But it was cold, and it was in the bottom of the cooler, and it was 107 out. So you wanted to shoot a fish. You were like, I got to have a drink. So I became a wino that week, too, off Boone's Farm. But
Is that legal?
Boone's Farm?
Well, drinking on a boat.
Well, I wasn't operating the.
Oh, so you're okay then, I guess.
I think I was all right.
Okay.
I don't know what the rules are in Texas.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, several
you're out of
states
state.
away.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was totally okay. Oh, and that was another thing. While we were down there bow fishing for gator gar, there were long-nosed gar there too, but you couldn't shoot those. If you shot those, it would throw blood in the hole, and then the gator gar wouldn't want to come up in the same area. But there were ginormous bass swimming right on top of the water. Well, we don't
Can you shoot those, or do you have to have a different tag?
Yeah, you can't shoot game. Yeah, or you can't shoot. Game fish is what they would call them.
Same with Missouri.
You can. If we had a pole and we caught it, we could have had it.
I'm telling you what, I'm gonna shoot everything. If it's a crawdad, I'm shooting it.
Don't say.
No, don't say that because.
Oh.
Yeah, then they'll come back.
Is it rough fish and game fish or something like
so
that?
it's just
in
gar,
Missouri.
You can
carp,
get carp, buffalo, drum.
See, this
sucker.
This is the bad thing though, because my luck is always like the day I go out bow fishing, I'll see nothing but bass or perch. Perch? Can I shoot a perch?
No.
I will tell you what, because I can identify a fish real quick.
Do you see my frowny face? Do you see this?
Yeah.
This is the same I have with deer hunting. When I decide I'm going to only kill a buck, I see does, or I get a nice, beautiful deer with a huge rack on one side and completely busted off on the other side.
A duck.
A duck. Yeah.
See, and you guys have laws that we don't. You have to have a certain amount of number.
Well, not in Clay County here. You can shoot. We don't have a point restriction in Clay County. But so I can go out in the backyard and shoot anything. But when I want to kill a nice buck, that's the only thing I've had stand broadside in front of my arrow was one side. Twice this has happened to me. Nice big buck. So bow fishing, I'll have bass and perch hanging around me.
Yeah, I will
guarantee it.
I will too. I don't know. It's been several years, but it wasn't long after they
did the point
put into effect the point restrictions, and we were leasing some land up in Caldwell County, and every illegal buck on that property walked
underneath
by
you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember. Like I started off just killing everything. Let's kill everything because I've never killed anything, so I'm gonna kill everything. It's fine.
That's awesome.
You know, that's how you when it starts out.
Yeah, you're gung ho.
Yeah, you're like, it's going down.
It's brown, it's down.
So then you get a few things down there. You're like, okay, so now I think I want to put something on the wall, and then that's when the does were hanging out. I've had does lick the steps I've walked up the tree on.
Really?
Yes. We down towards my father-in-law's when we had that place down there. I used to walk. There was a cow pasture I had to walk through to get to my stand in the timber, and I used to kind of like go by the patties and just kind of brush them with my boots because I figured it was cover scent.
I did that too. Yeah.
They're used to smelling that. And I mean, the light, I could hear an animal below me as I was still dark. I could hear it below me at the tree. I knew there was a deer. The light came up and there was a big fat doe and she was licking
the caca.
Yeah, or she was smelling the cow poo on the step at the bottom.
She's down there thinking, how'd that cow get up there?
And she hung out for 30 minutes walking around and I'm just like that. And then later that day was when it was that weekend or something, when one of the big bucks, I saw him chasing a doe through the woods, stood broadside perfect at 25 yards, had like 4 points, 4 nice big, was wide, and this other side was busted off about 3 inches from the base. I was so dang mad.
That's annoying.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's.
Oh, hi, Brandon.
It's made me.
We're not live, but hi, Brandon.
It's made me say bad things in the wood. I've been in a stand out here and watched the deer go across the thing to the other property, and I watched somebody else shoot a nice big 11-point.
Wow.
One day, and I did yell a cuss word out of my tree stand. I did.
No,
I did. Well, isn't that just great?
Well, the other thing that happened with me those couple of seasons when we were hunting really hard is either every illegal buck would walk by me, or I would sit a stand and not see anything. And then Vince would sit that stand and kill something out of it. It never fails.
He should allow you to shoot an apple off his head just because.
He should. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea. What is he?
The Luckies.
He's the Luckies.
Oh, he's showing us his Luckies. Otto, the podcast dog.
I think he's such a slut.
Look at him.
He totally got free
totally cracking
makeout
up.
session with you.
He's like, yeah, he's on his back, quite sprawled out.
He's like, hello, ladies.
Yeah.
With this
Here-
straight up.
I'm glad we're not having video right now.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Otto,
dog.
you're being inappropriate. Yes.
And he just lays so still, it cracks me up. He's so cute.
Well, Keith would normally get into a tree stand. We hung out at my mom's in Paola sometimes, and he would get up in the tree stand, and I wouldn't go because it'd be too cold for me or something. And he'd come back and be like, "Oh, there were two does up on their back legs boxing each other, and there were two little babies playing, you know." And I'm like, "Man, that is the same stand I sit in with you every time, and I see nothing." He comes back with all these stories, and then the very next day he's like, "You've got to go. There's a buck that comes down this," because I've yet to kill a buck or a doe. And so he's been trying for years to get me into something, and my luck, nothing. I don't even see a squirrel.
Well, and I did that for quite a while. I went a long time before I killed. And then the first deer I did kill was probably had just come out of spots that summer, and it was, I don't think it was much bigger than Dixie.
Oh.
It was pretty
tasted
small.
Good.
Anna, it tasted great, but I remember we got it field dressed and in, and Katie was petting its head. She was little at the time. She goes, "It's so soft, Mom."
Well, its fur is new, honey.
It's like
It just grew it.
Mom just licked it clean this morning.
Still had some milk on its lips.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Well, at least, you know, I mean, I don't want to go after a young one, but I mean, at least you've got meat in the freezer. Keith, you know, does a really good job of getting meat in our freezer every year, but man, I'd like to get one. I put in more hours than that man. I'll go when he's at work, you know, and this last year I gave it up. I'm not Catholic, but I told everybody I gave it up for Lent.
Hunting.
Yeah, wasn't even close to Lent season.
I've had the same thing. Just I've had bad luck bow hunting, and of course, the last few years we haven't had a lease or any really good places to bow hunt, so I haven't gone much at all. Like maybe one day,
Right.
a couple of years ago, and that's been about it. And I still try to rifle hunt when I can, and I still enjoy that, but I don't know. It just the bad luck, and like I said, having those deer walk by and you can't shoot them because they're not legal. And
Yeah.
one time I was pulling,
And you didn't even have any does. It was just all illegal.
Yeah, there was no does.
Ah.
No, it was bizarre. It was weird. One year we got drawn on a hunt, a managed hunt at Blue and Gray Park out by Lone Jack, and you had to shoot a doe before you could shoot a buck. And I had the worst flipping luck that it was like a week or 2 weeks, I can't remember. But I had some does come under me. It was early one morning, and I had to move from my right to my left, and there was like a branch in the way that I had to pull my bow back towards me and then move to the left, so that because they were moving from my right to my left, so that I could get drawn on them. And when I pulled my bow back, my bowstring hit my hat, which fell off my head and spooked them all. You know, so it's stupid stuff like that happens to me bow hunting. So I like the competition, you know, the tournaments and stuff with my bow. And so I've
you don't have to worry about those foam animals running away, do you?
No, knowing my luck, they probably would, though, if they had a chance.
Falls off, they stay still.
Right,
So,
exactly.
yeah, so the whole bow hunting thing's been very
that's
frustrating.
the biggest buck I've ever shot.
But, you know, I've had quite a bit of success rifle hunting. Nothing huge, you know, not wall hangers, but, you know, I've gotten some decent animals that way. But
I don't like guns.
yeah, I'm just going to stick with the foam animals, I guess, and maybe try my hand at bow fishing.
Yeah.
So I feel your pain, Annalesha. I understand the whole bow.
Well,
That's why I said
thing.
when we go bow fishing, I was like, I'm killing it all.
Yeah, kill it all.
So, but now you're telling me I
crawdad.
can't.
You can't.
Can I shoot a crawdad? Can I shoot?
Don't put it on tape. I hope no one heard that.
Yeah, when I go back and edit it, we're all going to be like, that's what it's going to sound like.
Can I shoot a crawdad? Is that legal?
If you can see a crawdad, I will let you. We need to cook it up then. Actually, that's another big, huge issue of bow fishing, and I know we totally got off that subject. But another thing is, a lot of people will approach you like, "What'd you do with all them fish?" Well, I don't know if you've ever eaten carp or buffalo.
I've had carp before.
I know that there's a way
And
to cook it in
suckers.
a pressure cooker or something. I've been told a million times. I do not like the taste of carp. It tastes gross to me. There's nothing about it that I like. Now, gar, on the other hand, are delicious. If you know how to clean a gar, clean it. Put it in a freezer, cook it up. It's great. But, okay, so what do we do with our fish? Well, at the tournaments, people come like, I think the turtle guy is his name. He comes to the tournaments, brings a big deep freeze, and he loads as much as he can because he feeds it to his alligator turtles that he sells. And I assume for eating. I'm not really 100% sure. I talked to him a couple of times. But and then some people come, with small buckets, and they can it to raccoon hunt and stuff like that. So they're not eating it either. And nobody wants to eat
No, but
fish.
you're using it for bait for something else.
Right. And nobody wants to eat a fish that's been in a death bucket all day long.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to eat that. Now, if we want gar, and we know we're specifically going out for gar so that we can have like a fish fry that night or whatever, we'll bring it right back. We'll clean it, and then we'll go back out again or whatever. We'll keep water on it. Gar stay alive forever. So they breathe air. So gar don't die like carp. So what do we do with them? You throw them on the bank. Sorry for all the people that think that's terrible. We are feeding birds. So a lot of times I'll be like, we take it to the bird sanctuary. And I know that it's not necessarily all the way alive because, there is a circle of life. Birds will eat those fish and then they'll feed their babies, blah, 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 on and on. So when people approach
you're
me,
talking
that's
about
a giant
carp,
pet peeve of mine.
right?
Carp. Which is a buffalo, a drum, any grass carp.
Grass carp, right.
Gross.
Normally, though, too, don't those, if you're getting issued tags for those.
You don't get a tag for that.
Or,
that's a trash fish.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They're usually a population you want controlled anyway.
Well,
right? In a lake. Like, just say
they're
for
an invasive species.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
they're devouring the eggs of all the game fish that everybody wants to eat.
Right. So actually, it's more of a conservation issue for the health of the lake itself, lake, river, whatever.
Yeah, a lot of that's why.
So that's why I'm curious. Yes. Who gives you trouble about just
everybody? Everybody. Okay, they'll see a big bucket of fish. What are you gonna do with all those fish? You're not gonna eat them? Well, no, we're not gonna eat them. They've been dead in there. The slime has oozed through the whole bucket. It's disgusting. The stench is horrific. The flies don't even want any part of it. It's so bad. No, we're not going to eat them. I'm sorry, we're not going to eat them. No, just everybody. Really, truly everybody. What are you going to do with all them fish? What a waste. What a waste.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't say that, though, because they're carp myself. Because I don't care for carp either.
If it was a bucket full of walleye... Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it'd be a different
I would
or
flay
bass
every one of them
or
by
trout
myself.
Or perch or anything else that's. But yeah, I agree. I think carp is kind of considered more of a nuisance fish a lot of the time. So
and it.
Hello, Dixie.
It'd be the same. It'd be the same as the Asian things. Those are very invasive. Those were not here. They're not an indigenous species to Missouri. Those have been imported in and have virtually I know that would be a Kevin McGrath
Didn't hear
question.
his breath.
Isn't he? Does he still work for the Department of Conservation or something?
Well, I definitely know that they are trying really hard to keep them out. I mean, they're going to great lengths
Oh,
to
I
keep them
know.
out of the Great Lakes. Like, the lengths that they're taking is like electricity underneath the water pulsing to keep them out of the Great Lakes.
Yeah, they're very damaging because their
Oh, yeah.
populations take off and
Yeah, there was a time. We've got a spot that are we.
Kevin,
running
we're going to
them?
have to use you as a phone a friend the next time we have these deep questions about. Does he work still? I thought he did.
I'm not exactly sure if he's working for the Conservation
Or
Department
he had it one
the
time.
U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Oh, it
or-
might be the U.S. That would
yeah,
be he would
but
be
see,
the person
he may
I'd
have
ask that
some
question.
restrictions on.
What he can say.
Yeah, or like because I've talked to him once
just want
before
general
about
rules.
interviewing him, and anyway, there are guidelines and restrictions.
Maybe he
I
really
think,
works for the
so.
CIA, and we don't know that.
That could be.
And he's just pretending to be a Department of Agriculture.
be.
That's his cover.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It all makes sense.
It does to me too.
Yeah, yeah.
So whenever we're out, you will probably be asked, "What are you gonna do with all them fish?"
And I'm going to say, ask the tall brunette over there.
Yeah, me
I'll
too.
be like, "We're gonna take it to the bird sanctuary."
Let them eat it.
I'd let my dog eat. No, I wouldn't.
Well, they're full of bones, and
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people think of a gar as having a ton of bones, but the way we clean them, there are no bones in the meat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just basically like taking the back straps out of a deer. That's really the pieces of meat you're getting, and it's pure white, and it's wonderful.
Right.
Cut it up, and
I don't believe I've ever eaten gar. Now
I don't think I
I've
have
tried
either.
carp before, and I think it was smoked, and it was okay, but
that's the way I had it. And
Yeah,
ugh,
no.
what an awful taste left in your mouth. Think you're having a connection
I think so.
with Otto.
With
The
Otto.
Yeah,
Parkinson.
nobody's seen. We have to put up with a lot of pets because we're at my house, and
Oh,
I have
no.
lots of pets.
Come to my
It
house.
seems like. Do you have lots? Okay.
Oh, I have a ton. I have cockatiels that have multiplied
Aw.
3 times. You want one?
Oh my goodness.
You can't let Jim know. He's
There's
banned
no way
me from
you-
having me for any animals.
There's no way you couldn't know. The thing squealed.
It'll get along well with the new kittens.
When he and I first met,
You
I
got-
had a
you've got new
parakeet.
No, I think Toby's trying to get Barb
Oh,
to take in
those
all
are
of these
Yeah,
kittens
I had a
that they found.
parakeet, and Jim would come over and lay on my couch, and that cage was right by the couch, and it would stand out on the door and squawk at him like crazy, just look at him and just start squawking like crazy, and he'd hold his lighter up to it like
I'm gonna
that.
burn, cook you.
What the
Yeah.
heck are you gonna do? Like, are you threatening it with fire?
Well, my girls came home with these 2 cockatiels, and they were just little babies. Pff, we didn't know it was male and female. I've got this great big cage. Put them in there. I mean, they have a beautiful habitat. 7 years later, 5, 6, 7 years later, they start laying eggs.
Oh boy.
And last year they didn't have any, but the year before they had 3 sets.
Can you sell them to like a pet store?
I can, I suppose.
How many you got?
Right now, I have 2 sets of babies and eggs in the bottom.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Yep. So there's 5 birds in one cage, which is a giant cage. It's probably 5 foot tall. It was handmade by my husband's dad. This is not archery related.
No, it's not. I guess we
Yeah,
better get back
okay.
on track.
So anyway, I have a ton of animals, so this is nothing. But anyway,
That's okay. We always go off on these little tangents.
Do we?
Yeah.
You think listeners are used to it? Well, we
Yeah,
had actually hoped to talk to Karen tonight, but as you could hear, she had issues with her connection, bad storms.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to
So we're
reschedule
gonna try
with
to
her.
try to
and-
reschedule.
and she's going to be a really good
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
to talk to. She is, she's got a lot of.
Yeah, she's a mover and a shaker, and
She's got a lot of things
she's
going
really
for her.
passionate
Mhm.
about getting women involved in the shooting sports. And
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, and it's been so fun to follow her over the years because when
Yeah,
we
I
first
mean,
became aware of her, it's been about 8.
I think it was
7,
just
8 years,
she had a
something like
booth
that.
or a
Yes.
table at a ASA
Mhm.
tournament.
I think it said 2009.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
in
just
Vegas she started.
watching it grow. It's just been really cool
Yeah.
to see everything that
Yeah.
she's doing.
So very interested to talk to her.
I have bought
Yeah, she'll
many
have some good
pieces of her
information.
apparel.
Yeah, I've got a couple
Yeah.
of shirts and a hat and whatnot. Did you guys watch the OPA stuff at all this past weekend, or?
I did get a few bits on Facebook. I didn't super follow it because I had a lot to do.
I didn't follow it super close either. But did you watch the video where they showed where Dan McCarthy, I think it was on the Bow Junkie, where Dan McCarthy was riding around with Levi and Samantha before they started shooting.
Mm-hmm.
It's really neat. It's about a 15-minute video, but they walked the course to kind of show what the course was like.
I didn't
that's
see
nice.
that.
That's a good idea.
I watched the shoot off.
And they had the
on
did
Facebook
you?
Live. That
Yeah.
was kind of,
They had
was
the
kinda neat,
Did you
but
see
you
the
didn't see
treehouse
the-
shoot though, or the treehouse target?
Yeah, I saw that. The shoot off was kind of neat, but you couldn't see the targets.
No, you couldn't see where they were hitting on the target.
No, but it was great because the male pros were shooting, and chances throws his 14 card down or whatever, and he had to basically have a chance at winning it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was with that 57-yard standing bear, and he 14 that sucker like nobody's business, and of course you couldn't see it, but you could hear the crowd's reaction, so you knew he nailed it, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the payouts are awesome.
Yeah.
That's why I was looking at those big checks, how much they made, which I know was $500 to enter, and
Yes.
you had to be invited.
You had to be invited, but I think if you contacted them, they would let you in or something.
Yeah, I think that after the way I read it was initially it was to be invited, but they had a max registration for each class. If they hit a certain date and the class wasn't at its max, which I don't think any of them were, then it became an open registration. Yeah. So if you were willing to pay the $500 entry fee, then you could register.
I was looking at the payout schedule, and I want to say for women's expert and for seniors,
I think it was $10,000 for first place,
and it was based on 100 people in each class. In those two classes, they paid out to 25th place. You would at least get your entry fee back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
So I don't know. I mean,
it's big bucks.
It's definitely easier for people that can afford it, obviously. I mean, that's kind of a dumb statement, but, most people that we know, I guess if you wanted to go bad enough, you'd figure out a way to.
He found his way over to her leg.
Figure out a way to come up with the money and travel out there.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it was a really beautiful sight. I think they had a lot of rain.
It looked really pretty.
It was kind of one of those things that were you're like, man, I wish this was on ESPN or something where
Yeah, it was beautiful.
you'd have some really great cameras and some good camera shots of the shoot off where they would. Did he bark at you?
I don't know what he did. He burped or I don't know.
Well, I heard they had a fog delay too.
They did.
Yeah.
And that would have been kind of cool to even video all the pros in this little bitty shack talking and getting some of their little, whatever they had to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not even arch related, some of it.
Well, Barbie mentioned the PGA, and Bow Junkie was going around and filming, and I don't know who it was, but they were giving a running commentary just like
Right.
a golf tournament.
Yeah, I
they
mean,
were talking quietly, and
when you talk about
up at the stake, and now they're at full draw, and it was kind of
Just got a shower of auto.
it was
snot.
kind of neat, but it was kind of funny to me too, though, for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, because
it's
it's a different thing coming out of an archery tournament,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what it's kind of based off of. So you were thinking, oh, they're playing off golf tournaments, and yeah.
But that's probably
I mean, if it keeps growing in popularity, let's face it, we may be.
Oh, I think it's.
We'll
wonderful.
eventually see it
I
in
think
that
it's
kind of a
wonderful, but
format.
I was just thinking that that's maybe where her little giggles came from. But yeah, I think it's awesome.
Oh, I do too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It was kind of funny to me. But I guess it's because we're so involved in it, and it's just like, oh my gosh, is this what it could
usually
really
what you
be?
hear in the background is some rude behavior and bad words and harassment of
innuendo.
Vince wee-weeing in the woods.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Are you wee-weeing again? I thought it was really neat, and I thought it was really pretty there. It almost looked like a golf course.
I think it was on a
think
golf course.
okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was on a golf course. So,
But I've heard some people make the comment that I don't know if that's their motive or not, because I don't know really what the motive is, but that it's going to become like the PGA, and it's going to be very exclusionary. Only the people with the money are going to be able to play, because I think the PGA, before you can even join, I've heard this, I don't know if it's true, you have to have like so much money in an account or something before you can even try for it, or
right.
I don't know, I don't follow it, but I've heard people talk about that's the way some of the archers want it to go, to keep it exclusive.
Well, they better get the jacket out. Then. So. The PGA jacket.
I don't know if it's.
And
do you think it's really to keep the?
Yeah,
I don't know that I view it as keeping the riffraff out. I think to a certain degree. I mean, let's face it. A lot of those guys and gals who are at the top there, that's their livelihood. That's how they're making their living. Mm-hmm. The big entry fees helps ensure that they will get a bigger payout in those top. Mm-hmm. Several spots.
Right.
So I get that,
Oh, yeah, I do too.
And if you want to make that your living, then shoot better and be on the podium. You know what I mean? So,
right. Yeah. But what if you practice all the time and you just suck?
Then take up bow fishing or take up.
Are you saying bow fishing people suck?
Take up a different hobby, though. I mean, I don't know. I mean, not everybody can be good at everything,
right.
I mean,
right.
It's, I don't know. That came across really wrong, but didn't it?
You're fine.
I don't know. I think, and like I said, maybe there's some legitimacy to it. Maybe there's not. I don't know. I mean, to me, it's just archery. It's just another thing in archery, and so I haven't really thought about it too deeply.
I haven't either.
I think there's people out there just overanalyzing it.
But I do get why. I mean, that is a huge entry fee, and if there's someone here local who's shooting that well, okay, to rank in that top 10, if they just you can go to ASA's pretty inexpensive. Mm-hmm. If you win in a K50 class or something comparable to what they shot, you could easily earn in one shoot, one or two ASA shoots, enough money to take your happy bow and self to Pennsylvania and pay the $500 to get in. I mean, the payouts on K50 in the top 5-10 spots has easily been enough to pay you back for that particular shoot and save enough money to go to another bigger shoot.
Right. To me, the payouts.
So I guess that was the point I was trying to.
Yeah. Makes it lucrative.
Right. Exactly. And that's kind of what they're.
You got to travel
what they're
there
shooting
too.
For.
Right.
You got to have travel expenses.
Right. Well, that's just like, I mean.
Some people.
I'll just use myself as an example because it's what I know. But like going to these ASAs, known 45, women's known 45 pays out to like 4th place, maybe 5th place, somewhere in that neighborhood. That's it. So if you finish out of that, you've just spent all this money to just go play and you haven't gotten any money back. And even if you win, from just the ASA payout, you're only getting a fraction of probably what it cost you to go there to begin with.
Yeah, there's not quite the numbers in that class, but like in the K50 class, there's enough for entries.
Right.
It all depends on how many people are in that class.
Yeah.
As to what your payouts are going to be.
Right.
So, yeah, a K50 class. Well, in the Open Pro, Women's Open and Men's Open Pro, they have higher entry fees. Their payouts are higher.
Yeah.
But, if you even look at, like, the Senior Opens, 1st, 2nd, 3rd will pay out a lot higher because there's 75, 80 guys in there versus 30.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
So,
I guess, I don't know. It just depends on how you want to look at it as far as, I don't know, shooting to have fun, because it's part of making your living, or it is your living. And
well, yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of people complain. I guess I'm kind of saying don't complain. Just shoot what you're capable of. If you're happy there, fine. Stay there and be happy with that. But don't, I mean.
Well, and then, somebody will throw out that argument, well, they've got time to practice, or they can afford to have a whole range in their yard and they can practice all the time.
But a lot of those guys didn't start that way. I guarantee you, every one of those guys there did not start having unlimited time and resources.
Oh, sure they didn't. They had to have a job to buy their bow.
A lot of them did. Some of them still do. Some of them, so they just found a way.
Mm-hmm. Right. And if you want it bad enough, you're going to figure it out.
Yeah, so
I wonder if any sponsors fit the bill.
I think now I think once you get up, like in the pro ranks and that type of thing.
Oh, you mean fit the bill for the entry fee or the travel?
Yeah,
travel.
I think some
travel.
Of that is
I know they do
negotiated in a contract and that type of stuff. But I don't know any details or anything. I just assume that that's how it works, or you can have that put in your contract that they're going to pay certain things or certain amounts or whatever, but I don't know. Do it.
What time are we?
What time are we? We have been recording for 2 hours.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But that's with all of the beginning stuff.
Okay.
And I'll go back through and I'll cut a lot of that out and knock this down.
Well, do you want to close it down or you want to keep going?
Oh, I imagine
we should probably
shut it down.
Yeah,
we could go on and on and on.
Because now I gotta pee, Annalesha.
I know. I had to pee when I got here, but now it's already absorbed. I suppose. I don't know.
I think it's my Diva. I should have shown this on our video. Darn it! Why didn't I do that?
We could all bring ours next time, and we could all sip out of them.
We could sip our wine out of them.
Well, we also need to talk about the giveaway.
Oh, I got to get that hat for you.
We still need to nail that down. What are we going to do?
We probably should wait to talk about it. Let's do it. Let's put it. How are we going to do this?
We need to have. Do you want to close this down? Then we'll talk.
Sure.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Okay.
All right. So thanks for listening to another episode of the Bow Divas. You can.
This is like a ramblings episode.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it is definitely a ramblings.
We got to come up with a good name for
wine, bow fishing, birds. What?
We talked about my birds.
Oh yeah,
we did birds. Yeah. Auto.
Yeah. 3D.
Auto was in there a lot.
3D. Yeah.
3D.
Your trip. Roaring River.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can nail down for a title.
No, this is very random.
Yeah, it's okay. It'll work. Okay. It'll be fine. If I get in it and start listening and decide that I can't edit it to where it sounds halfway decent, we may have to scrap it. But
that's okay.
No, it'll be fine.
I think there's enough of a chunk of something.
Oh yeah, the whole bow fishing.
Oh yeah,
part.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Well, we do need to get that together. And
she's got to cut out my illegal fishing habits, though.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. Nobody's going to turn us in. I know.
I don't think so.
They're all good-hearted people, right? We are too.
Yeah, I'll call you when the feds are knocking at my door in a couple of days.
They're looking for all your tags.
I heard you've been.
Yeah.
Are you storing crawdads illegally in your freezer?
We need to get
Ma'am,
a count
we have
on
a
your
report.
Yeah.
Need to see your crawdad tags.
They'll be in my fish tanks. Is that an illegal angelfish?
We found 24 pinchers in your trash. We've been.
Do you have a license for that Plecostomus?
Your Plecostomus. That's awesome. Not those kind of suckers. They don't look like that anyway. Well, you can find us on www.bowdivas.com. Then we got Facebook, which is the Bow Divas. Then we got
Bow Divas
podcast. Yeah, we added. Oh well, that was already on there. And then we're on Twitter and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Twitter is BowDivas01.
I don't remember.
And then the rest, I think, is just Bow Divas podcast. I think if you just typed in Bow Divas in the
something will come up.
You will find, if you find anything archery related, that's us. If you find something that has to do with cheerleading bows that are in girls' hairs, just don't click on them. That's not us.
Right. Unless you're looking for bows for your hair.
Unless
and then click on that.
Yeah.
But then, but you won't get us.
Yeah, but if you're listening to us, most likely you're interested in archery, not hair bows.
Exactly.
Sounds good. I've got so much social media going on, I can't keep it all straight right now.
Yeah, I know. And then we do have, we've started a YouTube channel.
I should plug the most peaches, too.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
you
the
should.
most pages.
And I need to go online and see if I can change us to the most BowDivas on Twitter, because I hate BowDivas 01, but I always forget.
Well, and then we're going to try to upload some videos on the YouTube channel, and then we might be able to do a link maybe on the Facebook page. I feel like more people see us on the Facebook page than the other ones. We're not real good at keeping up with the Twitter, the Instagram. It's a little harder. I'm not super familiar with it, and I just forget about it really. And then our Facebook page, maybe we can throw something up, or not Facebook, our www.bowdivas.com, throw something up there, maybe a link. But I think it's time to close out because we have been rambling and rambling.
Yes, we have.
So
this might have to be another two-parter. This will be 3 two-parters.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so that's good.
I
we're
think
stockpiling
I have a
these
feeling when we
episodes
get
for
Karen
future
on the
use.
phone, it's going to last a while too,
Yeah,
because I've got a
that's
ton
good.
of questions for her.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic, because I'd like to have a lot of them in the queue waiting to go, so we're not scrambling. At
Yeah,
the
then we
last
can take
minute
half
to
the summer off and then
Right.
work on our tan.
Work on our
I'm wearing shorts, obviously. I need to work on my tan. I am
I do
pale,
too.
pale.
Look at that.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
well,
Say bye, Julie.
bye, Julie.
Say bye, Barb.
Bye, Barb.
Bye, Otto.
Bye, Otto.
All right. Bye, Annalesha. See you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Gotta
Gotta pee.